yeah, check out the Burnout. Whoa, whoa, he's still going. Whoa, holy crap, he's still going. He's still going. He's still going. Holy crap, this guy has got some power. No way, he's got to have his... Wow. That's some pretty serious oomph there. When I was 16, my first vehicle would not do anything like that. Had an open rear end. My dad bought me a 71 Ford LTD police Interceptor. It's an old police Interceptor vehicle. And that thing had gobs and gobs of torque. It wasn't, I mean, it had a lot of power, horsepower wise. Nothing like you know, that you'd have today, like in a Shelby or anything like that, but probably around the 300 and I don't know, 340 range. But torque wise, man, that thing had gobs of torque, and it was an open rear end with bias ply tires. And when you have a car with that much power, open rear end, bias ply tires, and you've got a 16-year-old who's just learned to drive. Actually, my dad, when he bought it, he said, "Come with me, come on." So he came outside, showed me this thing. I was like, oh, I wasn't into cars. I was not into cars or anything like that. So he gets me in the car, puts me in the passenger seat. We backed down our driveway. It was a concrete driveway, probably from here to the corner there, fairly good distance. And then he backs across our road and puts it in gear. And he goes, "Now watch this." He puts it in drive, steps on it. Whoa! Whoa! And we do this burnout. Cross the road and up our driveway. He stops, puts it in reverse, backs down. He does the same thing 3 times. After the 3rd time, he parks the car. He looks at me, he goes, "Now don't you do that." Well, I never knew cars could do that. You can spin the tires? I went through a lot of tires. Those first 4 tires I rotated completely around to the point that I had 4 bald tires. And eventually I had to break down and go buy some used bias ply tires to replace it, because I hit a little bit of water on the way to school one day. They were all 4 bald, and it had 2 ruts, and just a little bit of water hit it. The car was like, whoa. I went home and told my dad about it. He comes out, he looks at the tires. He's like, "Well, that's the problem right there." So I ended up replacing all my tires, and yeah, it was good fun. Anyways, why am I talking about that? Because so my first car, 71 LTD police Interceptor. My second car, 69 Mustang Notchback 351 Windsor, little C4 tranny. That car got wiped out. Lady hit me broadside with a Bronco. That's a different story. Next vehicle was a 67 Falcon, where we dropped that 351 in and put a C6 in, 370 gears with a posi, and line lock as well, because I had started to get into drag racing. So I'm sitting at an intersection one day. It was the Island Highway in Nanaimo. If anyone's from Nanaimo, Terminal Park, there's that intersection that's, there used to be a little family restaurant to the right of it. I can't remember what it was called, but the railroad tracks are right there, and the gas station's on your left, and McDonald's is right behind it. Anyways, I'm sitting there, and I want to turn left and go north on the Island Highway. So the light goes green, and I roll into the intersection. I'm sitting there with my blinker on. Some people are turning in front of me, and some people are going straight through. Well, the light goes yellow, and I see this woman coming, and she's not on the binders at all. She's still coming, but at the last second, she jumps on the brakes and comes to a stop on her side. Meanwhile, the lights turn red, and I'm like, oh, and people, highway traffic. So I stomp on it. And that little Windsor and that Falcon was quite fun. It was probably a mid to high 14 car. And so I stomp on it, lots of bottom end. Whoa! The car pulls like this really sweet burnout. and it was just like a nice controlled slide. So, whoa! And you know, when you guys that do burnouts, when the car is starting to get traction, you can hear the engine tone changing. Whoa! And up the highway, and I take off up the highway. Whoa! And I have this weird feeling. I'm like spider sense. And I look in my mirror. There's an RCMP car that was he was at the head of the line that was heading north. So right here, I didn't even see him. I wasn't even looking. And I'm like, oh crap! And I see his lights come on, and so I just pulled over right away. And then he finally catches up to me, and he's parked behind me. And I lean over to my glove compartment, and I pull out my my insurance, and I'm getting my license out. And don't do it. Oh, you did it too. That was a bit of a wide corner there. Felt a little slippery. And so I pull out my license, my registration, and I sit up. And as I sit up, the cop car is going past me on my left. And whoa, he's accelerating. And then he pulls a hard left, and he goes over the median, and then goes back the other way, south. And I'm looking at him as he's doing this. He's not even looking at me. And I'm like, I got this look on my face, I'm sure, like, oh, what the heck is going on? So he zips down the road to the south. And I'm like, okay, wait a second. This is a trick. This is a trick to see what I'm going to do. And so I sit there and wait. And wait. And this guy's not coming back. Well, of course he's not coming back. He probably just got a call that, you know, somebody's plunging knives into their wife's head or something. Something bad. And he just takes off like a shot. So I put my stuff back in my glove compartment, put my license away, started up my car, and drove slowly home. And then I kind of waited around thinking, okay, he's going to call me or he's going to come around my house. But nothing happened. So it all worked out. It was all good. It was just so funny. It was just one of those just sweet 90-degree, whoa, the fishtail, whoa. So that's my story. And I hope you like it. The end.